Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. We have a little bit of an update on some of the Christmas events which are starting tomorrow. By the way, I've got a hole in my chest. It's painful, but we're soldiering on through this Christmas. Yes, we are. So what is going on? Well, the big thing that is happening is over here. We can see it in game as well. We have a Festive Deck of Fate, which is starting tomorrow. Now, there is currently no information on exactly what you're going to have to do to get points, but this will give you champion fragments for a brand new legendary, Belz the Reckoner. Now, as a deck of Fate, this means it's going to be very, very difficult. You will almost definitely have to max out the deck of Fate or come extremely close. The fragments, there's usually like a ton of cards with fragments in them, and you need all of them. So you basically have to do the entire deck, or, you know, maybe you'll skip out on one or two, maybe three if you're lucky flips on the deck. But yeah, you kind of have to factor in completing the entire thing. It is likely, we talked about this in the video yesterday, there's going to be a full 2x event for your primal shards. So for anyone who skipped the previous 2x event for primals, because that was only 2x mythicals, this upcoming one is 2x mythicals, legendaries, and epics from primals, so it makes the primals a lot better. If you did skip that and you've got a good chunk of primals, or if you, like me, bought yourself a chunk of primals expecting to do a Christmas video, hey, I was right. Then, you know, this might be good. I'm not sure exactly how many you're going to need, though. You might need a ton. There is, of course, that 15x. We talked about it in yesterday's video. I don't think it's a great 15x, unfortunately, but you could fill in for some 15x stuff. It's a bit underwhelming, but that is, of course, an option. But is it even worth it? Is Belz the Reckoner worth going all out for? How good is he? Well, I do have a video on him as well. I was kind of suspicious. Could he be a guaranteed champion over Christmas? And it turns out he is, literally from Christmas Eve on. So, yeah, Belz the Reckoner. I think he's okay. I described him as a great mid-game champion. What does he do? So he comes in, AoE block buffs and leech, fills his turn meter. His A2 steals all buffs. Then he repeats the attack against everybody if the initial target had leech. His A1 is decreased defense and ignores defense for every debuff on them. And then he has a ninja style passive where his max HP and crit damage scale up every time he places a debuff. He gets up to 50% more max HP, which makes him not only more survivable, but his damage scales on HP, and his crit damage scales by 5% up to 50%. So he does decent damage. He doesn't do amazing damage, guys, right? When we stacked it up, his damage is not crazy. For instance, we tested him against Thor. He's not doing as much damage as Thor in Hydra, not even close, but he's doing decent damage. We tried him against a Newt in Chimera. He's not doing as much damage as Newt, but he was doing decent damage. I think the best thing about him is he does bring you block buffs, leech, and potentially decreased defense. It's a nice bit of utility for Hydra. It's even a nice bit of utility for Chimera. And he's very easy to keep alive. He's got very high base HP, and he's getting 50% more. The guy is tanky as anything, and he's healing himself up as well very consistently. So he is super tanky. Very, very, very easy to keep alive in... Well, I tried him in Chimera and in Hydra, and he's super easy to keep alive in both of them. So for a mid-game player, he's a damage dealer that's not doing crazy damage, but he's doing okay damage. He's super easy to keep alive, and he's bringing you in some crucial debuffs. I think he's quite a decent champion, but he's not top tier. So this is not the sort of champion, like, you know, if they had a guaranteed, I don't know. There's not even anyone too much in this faction. That's absolutely insane. It's a weaker faction, isn't it? If they had a guaranteed, you know, Galathier, or if they had even the Prism is pretty nice. I don't know. If they did a guaranteed Marishka, you'd be like, oh my God, I'm going out to buy shards to do this guaranteed. This is so good. Not the case with Belz. This is more like if you are buying yourself some shards for Christmas anyway, which, I mean, a lot of people probably will, and that's okay. You know, you want to buy yourself some shards for Christmas. Hey, you might grab yourself a Belz, but I don't feel like he's really a champion to chase. But I do feel like for an early game player or a mid game player that happens to pick him up this Christmas, or if you pull him at any point, he could be kind of solid. And, look, if we get more, he's probably pretty good for Curse City as well. I didn't check which stages he's good for, but he will be really good for Curse City. And if they introduce new faction wars, he's likely to be pretty good there as well. Orcs are slightly, it's a little bit tricky. Now we've got Tagore, it's not so bad, and Yorg, but back in the day, it used to be quite difficult to keep orcs alive. I think he works quite well because we've got quite a lot of aggressive orcs. Everyone can eventually get Varl. Uh, Artak, you might have Artak who's free as well. Belz will combo pretty well with the Leech and the Block, but he'll be quite good for any future faction war content, which we know is coming for orcs. So yeah, I would not go out of my way to get him, but for me, I am pulling my primals anyway, and yeah, I might pull some extra shards to secure him if I'm getting pretty close, but I wouldn't feel like it's necessary. Now, we also have an undead summon pool. And bearing in mind, there are more shard events coming. So we have a champion chase event starting on Friday. So this Festive Deck of Fate and the 2x mythical, 2x primals, and the 15x event from your other shard types are running Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The Deck of Fate and those events end on Friday morning, and we've got champion chase. Now, what sort of things are going to be in this champion chase? My guess is this champion chase is probably going to be 2x Ancients on Friday, 2x Voids on Saturday, and 2x Sacreds on Sunday. That's my guess. I don't know that for certain, but if I was a betting man, that's what I bet on. They'll probably give us a 2x for every shard type over the weekend. They might run 10x events with that. I don't know. It might be just a 2x event for every shard type, but bear that in mind as well. If you are going for the Noel Fusion, and something that could also happen, they could also launch a Titan event on Friday. They could do it. They could be like, okay, boom, surprise, Titan event is starting off. That's going to give you a soul for Lady Noel, maybe a soul for Sir Nicholas. That sort of stuff might kick off on Friday, which might mean you go, actually, I was hoping to skip this Champion Chase tournament, but now I need to do it for Titan event points. That could happen. So make sure you are in a good position with your shards for Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well. You might not be able to skip this Champion Chase tournament if you've gone for the Lady Noel Fusion, or if you're doing the Lady Noel Fusion, you might need to go grab those. Now, the summon pool, I'm not sure it is worth, this summon pool is on right now. It's on, yeah, you can definitely keep your shards for this. So don't summon on this summon pool until Friday for the Champion Chase. It might be a champion chase for this Deck of Fate. I think this is more likely to be Summon Rush, so the Prisms won't help you. But again, we're not sure yet. So maybe the Summon Pool will help you with the Deck of Fate. It will definitely help you doing the champion chase at the weekend. So you're best off waiting until then. Now, these are slightly cheaper than before, 35. The last few have been 40 for a single pull, and it's still the 6% Legendary, 94% Epic. The Legendary pool is smaller, but you still have the same chance to get them. So 2% that you get Heraclites. I think he's really good. Like, we had Felrus on, who's a mid-game, low-spend player. And, yeah, he was saying, he got Heraclites. It let him beat Amius for the first time. It's just that the amount of healing this guy was popping out while dead was crazy. And it just kept him going forever in that fight. He was able to beat boss fights he wouldn't otherwise beat. He's quite a fun faction unity champion. So that's cool. Then the 4% chance of ledge. So it's like 2% chance you get him, 1% for each of these, basically. Mashald is certainly interesting because he brings the leech and continuous heals, good damage and all of that. He brings increased speed for your team as well, puts out True Fear. He has a lot of potential for Chimera with the True Fear and the leech and increased speed for your team. It's pretty great. Increased crit damage even as well. He's got a lot of potential for Chimera. Morrigan has been really good against Amius because she's got the unblockable heal reduction, and she likewise could be okay against Chimera, I think. Decreased speed, increased speed. Rotus doesn't need to be said. He is really, really strong. And Mashald, Bad Alcazar, he's decent as well. He's decent. Maybe a little too similar to Stock if you got Stock the Broken recently. But, Bad El, I don't really use mine much, but he's a fine one to get. So you've got a reasonable selection of legendaries, like a useful selection of legendaries, not necessarily the best of the best of the best, but a good selection of Legos in here as well. So yeah, it's not too bad. The epics are a bit weaker. Honestly, I think a lot of the undead epics kind of suck. Seeker's great, obviously. Vogoth is good to have. You can have a few copies of him. I don't know, a couple of husks can be useful for progressing in Hydra and stuff like that. But on the whole, the undead epics, kind of garbage, unfortunately, I think. So yeah, there's this event. There will be possible. I wouldn't be shocked if you could get some prism shards from the Deck of Fate. That could happen. You will definitely get prism shards from the Sand Devil turn attack. So that is starting tomorrow. That will give you prism crystals. So yeah, if you've got the time over Christmas Eve, Christmas Day to run some Sand Devil, that is, if you've got a Sand Devil team, that's nearly always worth doing because by the time you've got a Sand Devil team, it's a really high priority dungeon to farm anyway. So yeah, I will be doing this Sand Devil tournament, and that's probably it. I probably won't. I don't think I'll probably buy any of these prism shards. I don't know. Maybe for Christmas, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know really. Another big question people are asking. I'm not sure, guys, about this one. The Yuletide Titan event, Sir Nick. So if you don't claim Sir Nicholas, it will go to your inbox. That inbox, it counts as having pulled the champion. So you can't claim Sir Nick from your inbox and get champion chase points. That simply won't work. However, it's possible that this Titan event might linger for like a day. It might overlap a little bit. I don't know. It might overlap with the champion chase. It might not. I'm actually not sure. Nobody seems to know from what I've seen. I'm just going to let it expire and him go to my inbox, and maybe that will help with Champion Chase. Maybe it won't. Again, I mean, look, if it happens to be Champion Chase in this Deck of Fate, then yeah, great. So Nick's going to help with points for that, but I'm sort of expecting Summon Rush. Like I said, there's been, let me just double check before I finish the video. Yeah, okay. I mean, as of yet, no info as to exactly what you have to do for this Deck of Fate. Yeah, no info. I guess I'll be on tomorrow though for these pulls. I'm really unsure. Do you want me to do? I'm going to be pulling my primals. I've got 35. Should I pull my primals tomorrow on Christmas Eve and upload it on Christmas Eve, or should I do it the next day? Let me know. What do you want to see? Do you want to see me do as much of the Deck of Fate as I can, plus pull my primals on Christmas Eve, or on Christmas Day? You probably don't mind either way. I don't know. Let me know what you want to see, what you want me to do. But that's sort of my plan. And yeah, I guess we'll see. Like I said, Belz, I don't really think you need to stress about Belz. But if you get him, whatever. It's a guaranteed champion. It's okay. So yeah, that's sort of how I feel about it. It is the best time to pull your primals. A full 2x for everything is the best time. But let's be real, unless you've bought some like I have, or you've been saving and skipping primal events for a few months, you're not going to have enough, I'm almost certain, to complete this Deck of Fate. So yeah, it's this Deck of Fate, I think, is mostly going to be, are you the type of person that's buying yourself some shards for Christmas? And if you are, then you could probably do it, and it's okay. If you're not, then you can skip it and probably not really feel too bad at all, to be honest. You'll be fine. Right, just pull your primals, hope you get lucky, and whatever, pick up, flip a few cards, but don't really stress too much about it. It's my sort of advice. And of course, be prepared for the champion chase this weekend if you are doing the fusion, because that's very important. Guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, I had more info on the 15x. It is in game now as well. But like I said, we've got a fairly weak 15x. I mean, Argaz Wild King is in there. It's okay. The Void's kind of a bit mid. Not a very good 15x, but that is going to be on from Tuesday till the start of Friday as well. So yeah, that will be overlapping this Deck of Fate. It's pretty poor. The info is in game, and I did a video on it yesterday. I'll see you there for more stuff tomorrow, whatever it happens to be. We've got a fun collab coming out later today as well. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, can someone fix this hole in my chest? Oh my god. Goodbye, everyone.